What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. So it looks like we got a bonus episode of Salt Lake City this week. Now they did the same thing with the Real Housewives of Potomac, where they released the next episode on the app. Okay, so you got like two for the price of one, but you had to know it was there. And then I think the cast was live tweeting the episode last night or something like that. But let's go ahead and jump into it. So this is going to be the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 1, Episode 3. Baby, whole lot of stuff went down this episode. So first of all, we start this episode off with a little bit of cuteness. Okay, Lisa is in the car. This is just a little side thing, but I thought it was cute. Lisa's in the car with her son, telling him, "Listen, you've got to be studying your 10 Commandments." She was like, "Just give me 2 of them." So he was like, "Thou shalt not be mean, and thou shalt not do bad things." And she was like, "Okay, what do you mean by bad things, right?" I guess she figured, listen, maybe he could be specific about bad things. He was like, "Look at porn." She was like, "Okay, okay." Like, I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, right? Like, because he was serious. Watch porn. Later on in the episode, we see her taking her other son out to drive. And of course, it is every parent's nightmare to have to teach their son how to drive, or child how to drive. I remember my mama used to hold on to the thing so tight, I think her knuckles turned white, child. Anyway, that's probably the nicest thing I'm going to say about Lisa all season. Anyway, so then we have Whitney is out. She's looking for venues for this party she's trying to have, and she goes into this antique store. But the name of the antique store is called Prohibition. I didn't really think nothing of it at first. And she's talking to the guy. She's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for venues to have a party." He was like, "So you came to an antique store to have a party?" She was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Okay, well, what kind of party you trying to have?" "Well, I'm trying to have a party, a little wet." And at first I was like, "Whitney, are you flirting with this man?" But baby, it was cute. It was a secret door, and you open it up, and there was a whole restaurant and bar behind. And he was like, of course, the theme, Prohibition. They had the little speakeasies where you had to know the secret code to get in, because the front would be a store, and then in the back would be like where the real action took place during Prohibition. You could drink, dance, do whatever you wanted to do. If you've ever seen the movie Harlem Nights, kind of like Sugar Ray's was like the front was a candy store, but if you knew the secret code, you could get in the back, and it was like the whole kit and caboodle going on, kind of like that. Anyway, so she's having a 20s themed party there, whole Gatsby themed thing, and I was like, that is a really cute idea for a bar, so cute. Anyway, then we see, listen, Jen is extra for no fucking reason, okay? So Heather, Heather has the spa business situation. And so she was like, out of 20 employees, 5 of her employees are all pregnant at the same time with boys. And she was like, it must be something in the water, it's whatever. So they're having like this whole wedding shower for them, and she's giving them like mini Range Rovers, and it is so cute. Like, Heather looks like a really nice employee. Like, I would hate to hear like some horror stories that it was all for the cameras, but it was really, really cute. And the theme was white, and she was telling a story about the white being symbolic, that everybody thinks your marriage has to be, you're focused on having the perfect child and the perfect this and the perfect that, and it's just not that. It's not like that. Don't focus so much on the perfection, and focus more on just letting things be, letting things happen, or whatever. So she's one of the games that she has for them is she wants everybody to bring a baby picture, and then they're gonna put the pictures up, and everybody has to try to figure out who the baby is. And I was like, that is a cute game. Now, I'd have been to 5,672 baby showers in my day, and I have never been to a baby shower where we played that game. I thought I had played every damn baby shower game that they had ever invented. I just thought I had 20 times. Okay, but that was a cute one, and that's one that I think I would have done. Okay, anyway, so she's showing Jen. Okay, let me get back to Jen being extra. So Jen pulls up in a big old pickup truck, and this woman gets out, comes around with an umbrella. Jen gets out with these big ass stiletto heels. Mind you, it is snowing. Now, I get it. When you live in a place like Utah, you just get used to the snow. I get it. So things that for people like us who don't get snow on a regular basis, we might get 2 or 3 snowstorms a winter, if that. Like, that's an exaggeration, okay? I get that. But even in that, that was extra. And then they put the caption underneath that the woman that was had the umbrella over Lisa's head, walking her to the door so she wouldn't get snowed on, was her aunt. Now I know it's not the same aunt that she was mad at Mary about, but still. And she was telling that woman, "Hurry up, my feet are getting cold." That's how you talking to your aunts. Now I know it's not the same aunt that you was with in the hospital, because, like I said, that woman had to have a amputation, and that woman, But my point is, so you mad at Mary and you going off on Mary, but you talking to your aunt crazy, and you got her being your personal damn valet, girl. Jen. First of all, put some damn shoes on. She had like these open toe strap. It was ridiculous. I should have took a screenshot of it. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So anyway. But I will get, but then just as quickly as I was mad at Jen, I was like, yes, Jen, you right. They were talking to Heather, and Heather opened up about her marriage. And because they had this real cute picture of her daughter, like one of her daughter's birthday parties. And Jen was like, girl, this is a cute picture of your daughter. Why don't you have this blown up hanging on the wall somewhere? And she said, because, at the time, a lot of this was going on. My marriage was falling apart, and I just shut down. Like, I just couldn't, function. And she really opened up about her marriage. And she said, I was raised my whole life to be a good wife. That is what I was taught to do. And I really let a lot of my own personal desires, a lot of my own personal wants and needs, I left those to the side to fulfill the expectation of being a perfect Mormon wife. And I married a man who I thought would just be a good husband, good provider, not so much somebody that I was in love with. And then one day, he just decided he no longer wanted to be married. She said her husband left her. He just woke up one day and was like, yeah, I don't want to be married anymore. And he left her. He divorced her. And she said, and I don't know how to be this person, because this isn't the person I was raised to be. I was raised to be a wife. Now, I think she recovered well. You opened up a business that seems to be doing very well, and you seem to have a really good life or whatever. She said, but there's a part of me that just feels really lost and really empty, because I'm not doing what I was told I was supposed to be doing. And that's just a struggle. Like, I get it. I feel for her. I really do feel for her. And I get it. That you feel like you were raised to be this perfect Mormon wife, and now that's sort of been taken away from you, and you don't know what to do. And like I said, you've recovered well, and Heather, I was kind of giving you the side eye when you made that black man comment, but I actually do like you, Heather. Right now, I think you my favorite. You, and then I think Whitney is a close second, okay? But I really do kind of like you, girl. So then we have, so just as fast, again, as I was liking Jen, because Jen was like, no, girl, that is not what you are here on earth for. Like, you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be in love. She was like, girl, have you ever been in love? Girl, Whitney was like, Heather was like, I think maybe like, when I was 11. She was like, girl, no. You deserve, like, your worth is not attached to a man. Your self-worth is not attached to how well you get this man takes care of you, or how many kids you can have, or how good of a mother you are. You have to learn how to love you. You have to reclaim your life. I said, you better tell her, Jen. You better tell her. And then just as quickly, Jen pissed me off again. So next we see Jen going over Meredith's house, right? She still got on the same outfit, so it's the same day, She's going over to Meredith's house, and they going over there to have a good time, and Meredith's son and daughter is there. Now, we've met Brooks. Brooks is a lot. We're going to get to Brooks in a minute. Brooks is a lot, okay? We've met the daughter. She's a freshman in college, but she's coming home to check on mom. Now they're talking more about the separation and all of that. So she's coming home to check on mom and all that good stuff. Jen comes over, and Jen is being real extra. And Jen was like, yeah, next weekend I want to have a sleepover at my house, after Whitney's party. I want to have a little sleepover. We can win jammies, and we can have drinks and stuff, and we can practice our high kicks. And so Brooks was like, high kicks? what you talking about? Because I'm sure in his mind he was like, I know you don't literally mean high kicks. But no, that's exactly what Jen meant, literally high kicks. And Jen said, well, I would show you, but then, you might see parts of me that you don't need to see or that are inappropriate or something like that. And Brooks was like, because Brooks don't have no interest in seeing no parts of the puss. None whatsoever. So he was just kind of like, But then Jen proceeds to do it anyway. And she proceeds to do these high kicks on the... Now, in Jen's defense, she did turn... First of all, she said you don't need to see it. But somehow they did it anyway. Jen did turn to the side. She did turn to the side and do it. But Brooks wasn't feeling it, and neither was the daughter. And they ended up leaving, child. They said, we got to go down to Best Buy and pick up a few things. So Meredith was like, a sleepover sounds like fun. That's cool. I'm down. Whatever. So later on in the episode, Brooks, we get a little bit of information from Mr. Brooks. Brooks was like, look, when my mom and dad told us they were getting separated, I took that semester off college so I could keep an eye on my mom because I'm her ride or die. I'm her rock. Brooks really thinks he's his mom's daddy. That's what he thinks. He thinks he's the daddy. Okay. And he proceeds to tell her, I don't really like Jen, and I don't really think you need to be hanging around her. And Meredith was like, well, she wants me to come over and have a sleepover. And he was like, well, that's not happening. I was like, who the daddy around here? He said, that's, I guess his sister. He was like, that's her last, what in the world? He was like, that's her last night in town. She's going back to college and you need to spend time with us. So you need to let her know that you're not coming. And then he was like, so what are you going to do? And she was like, well, I'll call her and just let her know that we're spending time together and this is not a good weekend. Now, granted, he has a point that the daughter's in town. It's her last night in town. She wants to spend time. She came in town to spend time with her mom. That's great. But your approach and the way in which you said it, bruh, you not nobody daddy. What's wrong with you? Anyway. So then we see Meredith go out to dinner with Mary. And we get a different side of Mary. I still think Mary kind of full of ish. But we get a different side of Mary. We find out that, first of all, I don't know what that wig was doing. Mary, what was going on right here? Right there? But okay. But they got to talking, and they were talking about marriage and how marriage isn't perfect, and how people try to put on facades like everything. And they were talking about I think they were talking about Jen pretending like her marriage was so perfect, but she's not really perfect, that kind of thing. And then she opened up about her family. She said, listen, my marriage was an arranged marriage. So honestly, I don't really have any choice but to be married, but to be happy. Like there really is no other option. Right. And she went back talking about that story about how her grandmother was the first lady of the church. And by marrying her step granddaddy, she was able to inherit everything from her grandmother. She got the church, she got the money, she got this, she got that. And basically, it was a good trade-off for her. That's how I took it. Okay, that's how I took it. But she said, in the interim, though, divorce really isn't an option. Like, and it sounds like maybe her inheritance might be contingent on them staying married. Because she said, it's an arranged marriage, so there really is no option for me. Like, I can't say, okay, we've been married for, 10, 20 years, and now I'm not feeling it no more. Like, this is what it is. She talks about her son. She has a 17-year-old son. He done fell in love. He got himself a little girlfriend, honey, and she is not here for it. She said, I don't, it's nothing against that girl. But, my son is just not feeling me these days now that he done fell in love. She also talked about, her wedding night. She said, listen, it was awkward, okay? Like, we did not consummate that marriage for about a month because luckily for me, on the night of my marriage, I was on my menstrual, and I just spread that thing out for about 30 days, and then I finally just had to just suck it up, buttercup, and just go ahead and make it do what it do, okay? And I said, Mary, I still think that's some nasty shit, but, I hear you, girl. I hear you. But they had a really good conversation. And Meredith said, I really would like to come to your church. Because, Meredith said she's Jewish. And she said, hey, you know, that's a hard knock life, being here in Mormontown and being Jewish. So I would like to go see, Mary in her element at her church, and Whitney and her dad are coming. And so they're all going to go, I guess, the next Sunday and go see, see Whitney, at the church or whatever. Whitney was like, okay, no pressure, no pressure, but it was cool. They actually had a good conversation, and it was really nice to see them together, because I feel like they were sort of kind of bonding, like legit bonding, right? So then we see Mary with her son. And first we see her with the husband, talking to her husband, saying, listen, we need to find a school for him. I found this great boarding school in LA, because the school where he is now, he ain't learning nothing. He only there because of the girlfriend. And we need to get, basically we need to get him in a school where he's going to learn, because, I don't play with education. He's got 2 more years of school, and I really need him to do what he needs to do so he can get into a good, so basically he can have his pick of the litter of colleges. So she calls him, and we see her and her husband interacting, and it's interesting. They just seem to have built a great partnership. Like, I don't see no passionate love or nothing. But, who the hell am I, Then, they call the son down, and she tells the son, listen, how you feel about, boarding school in LA? And he was like, yeah, I don't want to leave my girlfriend. And she was like, even if it's co-ed, like, you're not interested, even if it's a co-ed situation? And he was like, I'm not trying to leave my girlfriend. Like, I don't want to leave my girlfriend. And so she was like, well, he don't know it, but he already in the school and he going anyway. So, he don't have to, he can feel how he want to feel, but he going anyway, But it was a cute scene. Like, it wasn't that deep, right? But it was a cute scene to see her with her son, whatever. Then we get to the baby shower. And again, it was cute. It was a really, really cute baby shower. They had all 5 of the ladies. Everybody wore their white. They had all 5 of the ladies laid out with their Range Rovers in front of them. And it was cute. It was really nice. But here's what I found to be very interesting. They got to talking about the baby, Whitney's party. Was it Whitney's party? Or was it the baby shower, child? Anyway, Jen is talking to Heather. And Jen is upset that Mary was invited to, I guess it was to Whitney's party, I guess. And Jen starts going off on this whole tangent again about what Mary said and how she disrespected her and what she said about her aunt and stuff. And Heather was like, I thought we had got past this. Like, she apologized. You accepted her apology. I thought we were moving on. Like, why is Mary still public enemy number 1? Like, I'm not understanding the problem. And Jen was like, Heather, what do you mean? She disrespected me. She disrespected my family. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Why do people want her around? What do you want? And Heather was like, girl, like, I'm gonna really need you to just chill out. Anyway, so then we have the whole church scene. We got to see Mary, at church with her golden microphone, honey. Whitney's dad had a good time. He enjoyed it. He had a moment. She prayed over all of them. And they actually had a good time. And they enjoyed it. They said it was nice to see Mary with her church, and that the church was just so open and welcoming. And it was just it was a great moment, And, again, I wasn't at that church service, but if they walked away feeling better, listen, if you like it, I love it. But I do think we're seeing a different part of Mary than what we saw in the first 2 episodes. Like, I will say that, So then we get to Whitney's party, right? And of course, Jen had to be extra, honey. Jen was over the top extra. Jen, you know what I figured out in this episode? Jen is trying to be the Erica Jane of this franchise. She has a team that gets her together and dresses her. And they practice their looks before she actually goes to an event. They got to do dry runs, and she has a whole team that works for her. Now, the one thing she did bring up a few times this episode was how lonely she is when her husband's away and her kids are doing their own thing, and that she's lonely. That's one of the reasons why she has a big team. That's one of the reasons why she wants to have the sleepover, because her husband's not going to be home. And I thought that was very interesting and very telling, that she would say, hey, I'm kind of lonely. But of course she's trying to put on this act like everything is great and perfect in Jen world. So they get to the party, honey, and everybody is having a good time. And baby, Jen walks into that party, and she sees, the first thing she sees, because she's upset that Whitney went to Meredith's church, right? She walks into that party, baby, and the first thing she sees is Whitney talking to Meredith. I'm sorry. Meredith talking to Mary. Girl, she loses it. She starts going off. She starts cussing. It's, and Heather is like, girl, what is your issue? And she was like, and basically she's going off about Mary again, and she's like, you need to pick a side. Heather was like, what? You need to pick a side. Either you with me or you're not. Either you're my friend or you're not my friend. If you basically, like, if you cool with Mary, you can't be cool with me. And Whitney and Heather were like, but girl. And I got this out of order. I'm sorry. This was still the conversation at the baby shower. My bad. But they were all like, girl, it's not that serious. Like, Mary, like, we could be cool with Mary. And Whitney was like, my dad really enjoyed when we went to the church. My dad really enjoyed that whole situation. But girl, Jim was not here for it. Jim was really trying to make Heather choose. Like, you got to choose a side. Like, no ma'am. But anyway, honey, now Jen said she had a couple of drinks because she was nervous. And it was cute seeing everybody go into the little bar, because they all had to give like a little secret password to get into the party in the back. Honey, and then they had scrippers. Y'all, they had male scrippers and they had female scrippers. I thought that was very interesting. Now, I'm all here for the equal opportunity scripping. I'm here for it, And that's pretty much it. I'm sorry, y'all, got a little mixed up, a little out of order. But neither here nor there. What you need to understand is that Jen is not here for anybody being cool with Mary. We thought that Jen and Mary had worked things out, and they have figured out their little friendship situation. But clearly that is not the case. And Jen is not here for anybody being friends, friendly, or friends to Mary. And I feel like that's going to cause a strife between her and Heather. Anyway, y'all, I've been talking long enough. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.